Beyond Synth 366.
You're listening to Beyond Synth Radio. B008.5.
Up next, Andy Last has fun chats with awesome synthwave artists. It's time for Beyond Synth.
Hey there, welcome to the show. This is Beyond Synth, and I am Andy. I host the show. Beyond Synth is the show where I chat with cool people who make cool music. And on the show today, I'm going to be chatting with Voltage. He's been making music in the synthwave scene for a while, and we've played his tracks over the years, and so it was cool to finally get to know him, and we'll be chatting with him in just a few minutes. And I just realized that when my internet was down and then I came back and made some shows, in the confusion and distraction, I forgot to do the birthday announcement. So I'm just going to run through them real quick, and then we'll go chat with Voltage. And I apologize if some of you out there were like waiting with bated breath. Is that the expression? Is that the expression? Hold on. I don't know what baited means. It's not bated breath. Waiting with bated breath? Waiting on bated breath. Hold on. Waiting with bated breath is a phrase in English that means to wait anxiously or eagerly. It originates from Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice and is often used to describe a state of suspense, anticipation, or anxiety. Bated is a shortened form of abated, which means to lessen in severity or amount. Okay, gotcha. Okay, all right, that has nothing to do with anything. Let's do some birthdays. So this is for all the people who had birthdays in May and I guess June. These are, of course, awesome people who are supporters of Beyond Synth, or were supporters of Beyond Synth and are still on my birthday list because I... So look, happy belated birthday on May 20th to Rower. Hope you had a great birthday. To Cat Punk on May 22nd. Hope your birthday was good. On May 27th, we had Big Baby D, a.k.a. Daryl. Hope you had a good birthday. A few days after that, on May 31st, Run the Skyway. Hope you had a good birthday. And then we move into the month of June, where Jimmy Groon celebrated his birthday on June the 3rd. A few days after that, on June 7th, we got Gaz Conlon, who of course is Honeybeard. Or half of Honeybeard. Well, it's hard to say. I think he's... How would he describe it? That's a good question. Anyways, I hope he had a good birthday. Skywolf on June 12th. Hope you had a good birthday. Alex Karlinski on the 16th of June. Highway Superstar. Hope his birthday was good. Then on June 25th, it's Jeff Harrington, a.k.a. Junk Mail Jeff. Hope you have a good birthday. I hope Retro Serenade has a good birthday on June 28th. Randy. We just heard him on the trivia episode. He's a cool guy, and I hope you have a lovely birthday. And then finally on June 29th, it's your friend Estevez, a.k.a. Joao. I've never known how to say that. I hope you have a lovely birthday. And that is all the birthdays. So I apologize for not doing the birthday announcements in 2 months, but hey, what the hell, man? Who cares? Nobody cares about this segment. Okay, so look, let's listen to a song and then we will go chat with Voltage. So I thought we'd listen to this one. I believe it was one of Marco's picks. Maybe even from last week. Is that true? Anyway, it's called Starflight by Voltage, and then we're going to listen to this, and then when the song is finished, I will be chatting with Voltage. So this is Voltage with Starflight. right. Well, I am here right now with Volt Age. Is that how you say it?
Yes, that's right.
And you are Jonah, is that correct?
Yeah, that's my normal name.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say after that. Well, it's a pretty normal name, man.
Yeah, it's normal, right? Just a normal name.
So, listen, let's get to know Jonah here. So we're sort of chatting for the first time right now. And my research team has all gone home to bed. And so I have to do all the research myself, which means I didn't do any. So what's your deal, man? What's Jonah like to do?
Well, I'm a full-time music producer. I have been doing that for the last 1.5 years. But before that, obviously started making music a lot earlier. And actually, I think got my introduction into the whole synthwave scene 2014 or 15 or something like that. Actually, in connection with you, I think. There was this guy called Michael Wallace or something.
Yeah,
is that his name?
RF Extreme?
Yeah, that's it. And this guy, he posted something in the Synthwave Producers Facebook group, a link of mine, and hey Andy, this looks like your brother or something. And I don't know if you remember.
I do. I always find... I never know how to feel, because I feel like some people, when they see any person with like kind of dark hair and dark eyebrows, they'll be like, oh, that person looks like you.
Yeah, true.
Because I'm always looking for people, like I find the idea of having a doppelganger like funny.
Yeah.
And so if I had one,
that.
I would be excited about it.
Yeah.
Because like I don't get upset if people say like someone looks like you. I'm like, oh, do they? Like, because I want to meet them and put them in a video or something.
Yeah.
But then most of the time they don't look like me, and like you can go to your social medias. You don't look like me. We don't look the same.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. I think it was like way back then. I had like a friend of mine. He took a picture of me, and it was like this black and white shot, and I had these, I don't know the English word for it, but this type of beard where you have like on the cheeks you have it a little longer. What is it called? The English word. I just know the German word for it, which is Koteletten.
Wait, hold on. Let me. We'll chat GPT this. Okay, how do you spell the German word?
Kotlen.
Okay, is the German word for what?
I think I fucked it up, the spelling. Sideburns. Fuck.
Oh.
That's it. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I think this was the
I like
reason.
when it's described as when you have the hair long on the cheeks.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the words for it. Rarely need to use that one.
Yeah.
But I had that, I think, and you had that as well. So I think this was enough of a criteria back then to be like, this looks like your brother.
Yeah, no one. I always just get the impression that no one knows what anybody looks like.
True.
Because whenever if I tell anybody, like I say, I saw someone that looked like you, I don't do that lightly. Like I mean it.
True.
Like when I see someone that looks like somebody, I try and grab video, and I'm like, you have no idea. Like this dude, I got a close friend of mine, and I saw this guy in the city one day who even walked like him.
Oh,
and I'm like, fuck, this is amazing. And I'm like filming him with my phone, and then anyway.
I get that, but I think it was more like a joke.
Yeah.
But actually, before that time, I was just making tunes for me and like 2 friends of mine and putting them on SoundCloud, and then suddenly, like overnight, basically, got a lot of people listening to my stuff, and it really kind of started my me like pursuing this music making. Like in a way that I was thinking, let's release music and getting excited about it. Yeah, and then made a lot of music, and with ups and downs, and then with long breaks in between where I did other music and came back to it. And it was really like synthwave got me basically started into this journey, and now I'm really doing it full time and can make only music, which is a blessing, which is really amazing.
So why did you make synthwave stuff in the first place?
I think I was listening like 2012, 11, whatever. That time I was listening to a lot of French house stuff like Breakbot and obviously Daft Punk and stuff like that. And there's like a Berlin producer called Siriusmo, and they also all used like a lot of synth sounds. And I was not very familiar with even the concept of a synthesizer back then. And a friend of mine, he bought an old synth, like a Korg Trident, and he was just excited about like this instrument, but he couldn't play it. And so he was nice enough to borrow it to me for like half a year, and I was just so fascinated by the sounds this machine made. And I kind of stumbled upon this sound aesthetic and made music without really knowing any synthwave. So I didn't listen to synthwave. So I just made like these 80s tunes because this is what the sound made me do, you know? Yeah. And then the story I just told with Michael posting about me happened. And then I realized there were like a lot of people keen on making music with sounds like this. And this is how I got introduced to like the whole genre. And there was this movie earlier, like The Drive and whatever people were telling me about. Yeah, so it was basically an accident. I just loved the way it sounded. So this is what got me into it.
So like, were you doing any musical stuff before?
I learned to play the drums when I was a kid, but I was excited about the drums itself, but I was not excited about practicing. Like I didn't have a proper band or mates who I could share like the joy of music making with, and or I just didn't pursue it enough. And then I had to sell my kit because I moved out from my parents' house, and like in a flat, a drum kit is like a pain in the ass. Yeah. So I got rid of that, and then a friend of mine, he showed me like GarageBand, I think, on his laptop, and I was like, wow, this is sick. I can make music with this. Then I got back into it and was really like realized that I was missing it, like making music, and also great that because I'm not really like into like the whole theory behind the music. I'm just going with the ear and the vibes. So it was great for me to have like the possibility to try over and over again and take my time and learn everything. And then I just spent like a lot of time making music, and I got better through just doing it. And here we are, like 10 years later. Still going. Yeah.
Well, look, how about we listen to some, and then and we'll keep talking. So I want to listen to the track Volt's Theme.
Yeah, let's do it.
Nice way to start this off, and then we'll keep chatting. So this is Volt's Theme by Voltage.
Yeah.
Alright, and that was Volt's Theme by Voltage. And we are here right now with Voltage, a.k.a. Jonah, talking about fiddling with a Korg trident and learning to play the drums. And how much did you sell your drum kit for?
Oh, damn, it was way too cheap. I needed the money and I regretted it. But yeah, I got back into it, and like 2 years ago I bought another one, but like double the price of the one I sold. Yeah, but I love it.
So you have room for a drum kit now?
Yeah, like I moved to a different city where like rents are a little cheaper, and it's a lot more like possible to make music and find a place to be loud 24/7. So I have now a studio with a friend of mine who also is a partner of me with the business we do with music production. And we have like a nice room with drums and all the instruments we collected over the years and synthesizers, and yeah, it's a real dreamland. And I'm really happy about that. Every time I get in there and to work, it's really a sweet place.
Wait, so did you move there specifically because you could have a bigger place to have your drum kit?
Yeah, sure. Not only because of the drum kit, but it was basically the decision was live in a small room and pay a shit ton of money for another room to put like some instruments in it and share it with 10 people, or move to a different city, have your own room, put your own stuff in there, work there whenever you want, and be there with my colleague and make like things very easy to organize and play gigs and whatever, produce tracks with other artists if we are in the same city. So it all like came together. I was like done, had enough of my old job and had like built up the music side of things enough so I could concentrate on making music full time.
What were you doing before then? What was your old job?
I studied social work, and I was working with kids and youth. I don't know if you have stuff like this in Canada, but it's like youth centers, basically, where kids can come, and it's very like easy to go in, go out. And my job was to connect with the kids, and then if they needed any help or counseling, or they needed support with some struggle, they could come to us. And the goal was to have like good enough relationships with the kids that they would trust you with shit that was going on in their life, so you could like help them. And that was I was doing that for 5 years. Also had like a small music studio in the basement where I could like make some beats with the kids. Nice. Which was fun. Yeah, and I really loved the job, but I was I was annoyed by coworkers and my boss. Sure. I thought it was just a very important job, and then COVID hit, and like they closed down the youth centers, and we had like a lot of the kids had big troubles in that time, and I was like thinking that was the wrong thing to do, and I was trying to make like other things happen and to still be there. Mm-hmm. But their position basically was let's just earn money and do nothing, which sucked and which frustrated me. And then I was like, no, I can't take this no more. Yeah. We reopened like for 1 year, and so I still had some time working with the kids. And then I decided to it's all good now. They are back in the youth center, and they know the new colleagues and whatever, and I could leave. So yeah, it was a tough decision, but in the end, good for me and my mental health, I guess.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, that's a noble profession. That's nice. It's important to do those sorts of things. I know, because we have programs like that around here, but not enough. I'm in a small town.
Oh yeah.
And so there's nothing for the kids to do. So like, I think last week someone set fire to a garbage can in front of the post office, and like, the post office has all these like burn marks going up the side, like of the bricks. So like, this is what the kids do when they don't have a place to go.
Yeah. I mean, it can really do, like, you can make amazing things because the kids have a lot of energy. They want to do something cool, something useful, even if they know how. But like, if you take away a lot of the possibilities, like we had restrictions that you like couldn't meet with more than like 2 or 3 people outside, like in the height of the COVID pandemic. And then you had obviously kids that were living like in very close quarters with big families, and they wanted to get outside and met with their friends, and then obviously they got in trouble. But it was always the kids that had already little space. I mean, the rich kid which has like the big party basement of the parents. He doesn't care because he can invite his friends. And so I felt like the injustice was a little bit too much for my taste.
Yeah.
And yeah, this was the reason why I had enough then at some point and wanted to get away. And I kept music all the time, so I was only working half the day, and the other time I spent still making music and building like the side hustle, you could say.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why I was always prepared to do the next step to going like only making music now.
We should go hang out in that kid's party basement, man.
Yeah,
that place sounds
sick.
sweet. He's got like arcade machines down there.
I was just thinking, I mean, the burning trash can in front of the post office seems like such an 80s thing to do in a movie. Like, you should make the radio show right next to the burning trash can in front of the, like, it's like a little bit of steampunk outfits, you know. Yeah.
Well, I can get that's I was thinking about that. It'd be funny to try and get like an actual, because we have radio stations around here, and there's part of me that sometimes goes like, maybe I should go and try and get like an actual radio job. I think that'd be hilarious. But the problem is, since I'm in like a small town in sort of like a rural area, like, you know, the countryside, and so it's all like country music.
Ah, damn.
So like all the radio stations here are just country music, and it's bad. It's bad stuff.
They need something new, Andy. They need something new. I mean, you have a great voice for radio. You should start the synthwave revolution over the normal radio waves.
Dude, I would love to do that.
That would be sick.
Because not only do all these radio stations play bad music, but they play like the same 30 songs like over and over again.
Yeah, I get
and that. It's so frustrating, even when it's music I like.
Yeah.
Because I like 80s music.
Sure.
But then whenever any radio station does like it's an all 80s weekend, you would think that the 80s was like 20 artists. Because it's like they just play the same fucking 40 songs from like, and I'm like, dude, it was like a 10-year period. Like, there's like hundreds of songs you could play. Like, every time it's just fucking, okay, here's fucking Billy Idol, fucking White Wedding, and oh, here's this. Like, they play the same fucking songs. Yeah. And it's not that they're bad songs. It's just, like, I have a synthwave playlist of just like, you know, synth pop tracks that's like bigger than any radio station playlist of like 80s music.
Yeah.
And like, whatever. Anyway, look, listen. Let's
go listen to some music or something.
Let's listen to some music. We'll listen to some Voltage. That's what we're going to do. I want to listen to the track Sensual Overdrive.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is a cool one. We got some cowbell in there, and that's what I like to hear. So let's check it out. This is Voltage with Sensual Overdrive.
Oh, yeah.
And that was Sensual Overdrive by Voltage. And I'm here with Voltage right now, Jonah.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about music production and social work and youth centers and party basements.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay, answer me this question here. Okay, Commando Ninja.
Oh.
Because there's a song and it's on your SoundCloud, but then when I go to the Bandcamp, it says that the soundtrack is by some guy called Thomas.
That's true. I mean, they made for the movie, it's like a full-blown movie, like over an hour long on YouTube. They made like a score, obviously. And one of the guys, I'm not sure how it came about, but like one of the guys approached me and they liked my song, The Pleasure Operator. And they wanted to ask if I could do like a theme song for their movie because they want that aesthetic.
Yeah.
So I composed it, but it was released as part of the score. So I think on Bandcamp you can get it via the whole collection of tracks.
Yeah.
But it is actually composed by me and friends of mine. Main guy together with me is Michael Wagner. He also composed The Pleasure Operator with me, and also the same vocalist is singing on it. So we just assembled the same crew and got together again and did a song for them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because I saw it. I think it's a great song. Like we'll listen to it later, but like, well, actually, that and Pleasure Operator are both fun songs that we'll listen to. But that was my question because I saw it on your thing. I'm like, oh, so he made the song, and then when I went to Bandcamp, it was just listed under the other guy, like this Thomas dude, and I'm like, wait a second, what the hell is going on here?
Thomas is a great guy, and also Ben from Commando Ninja. You should also, like, for everyone listening, should definitely check out. They are just making part 2, so it's amazing. But I think the soundtrack was published through Lakeshore Records, and I had some hiccups with them. So I'm finally glad it's finally on my platforms as well, like on Spotify and whatever. I also get something off the streams and everything. So
yeah. So who's the singer?
It's Maram. I was looking basically for a Shaka Khan like voice, and I was asking Michael, my friend, who I wrote Pleasure Operator with, and he was like, I know a girl, and she has this amazing voice. He studied at a university for music here in Germany, Pop Akademie Mannheim it's called, and there are like a lot of amazing singers, artists, drummers, guitarists, whatever. And he knew her, and we got in contact with her, and she was really keen on doing it. And so we got it done, and she's amazing. Yeah.
Well, definitely, like it. You nailed what you were going for with those 2 tracks. Like they sound legit, so they're fun.
Yeah, it's a nice experiment. Like I like to bring like a more modern aesthetic, but for those tracks, it's just so fun to get into the small bits and pieces and try to make it really sound old in a way, and still modern production value, but like make the sounds and the choices of sounds and obviously the guitars and everything inside like a little bit more authentic, I could say. Yeah.
So you said you guys now have like you're doing music full time. So is that retro inspired stuff, or are you doing all sorts of music production?
It's different kinds of music, obviously. Voltage is now, I spend a lot of time making the tracks that will be coming out throughout the year, which is like one part. And then I have another project which is called Poly Poly, where the 2 of us, my friend and I, we really like just come up with when we make music together. And then we have other projects where we produce for other artists, which range from stoner rock to modern like R&B type music or beat art. So it's very different kind of genres, but it's great because the tools we use, like the instruments, can be used in so many ways, and it's very fun to experiment and try to use it in different ways and make different music with it. Also, it's cool to get different people in the studio and see how they use it, and capture that and make it sound good. Yeah.
So do you have one of those studios with the foam on the walls?
Yeah, I have like not everywhere. And I don't know what do you mean by foam? You mean those triangle foams?
Yeah.
No, not like that. Now it's like we built like big panels and everything, because obviously if you have live drums, you have to take care of the room acoustics, otherwise it sucks.
Or you do like those homemade panels with like the rock wool stuff inside?
Yeah, rock wool, right? And then like in the corners we built some bass traps, and yeah, we did a pretty big project there.
I always like when people do that and it all looks very nice, because what I've done is I've basically hung like moving blankets all over my room, so I look like I'm inside a fucking moving blanket box or something. It's not very cool looking.
It's more like like those when kids build like these castles out of blankets and chairs and whatever.
A fort. We used to call that building a fort.
That's a fort, yeah. Also pretty 80s, I think. The kids nowadays, they just play on the phone, I guess.
Yeah. There's no more fort building, man.
Yeah. We should like encourage people build more forts.
Yeah. I feel like I'm more interested in doing that stuff than like my kids are.
Yeah, true.
When I make videos and stuff, I will be making the arts and crafts where like I'm downstairs cutting cardboard and colored paper and like little painting sets from the dollar store and stuff, like making little props, and I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, I'm an adult. Like, this is a
where are the kids?
Yeah, it's not true. Like my daughter is more artistic, I suppose. Like, she's always doing art stuff, but my son is just all into video games. So there's very little arts and crafts coming out of that guy. Yeah, there are phases for everything, and there are more worlds to discover, I guess. Yeah, but hey, it's hard for me to really be upset about it because like I'm mostly just playing video games and on my computer all the time, so it's hard to be like, hey, get out there and do something. And then they look at me and I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm on my computer, Yeah. Before you see it, your son will have like his radio shows on the internet. It's just like my dad. Well, I'm just worried that, because I saw these videos online of game streamers who are just like streaming like all day. Oh, yeah. And they have headphones on for like 14 hours a day and they have like dents in their heads. Really? Yeah, because if you wear headphones for too long, you shave your head and you'll have like a dent in your head. What? Yeah. What? Yeah. That seems like, well, I mean, if you wear it when you're growing. Well, no, because they're adults. It's like, because if you just have it on for 14 hours a day, headphones. That's insane. Then it's sort of, like, I think your head will go back to normal. It's like, because it's pushing down the, like, whatever, like you got like fat in your head. And anyway, look. Damn, I'm wearing headphones now. I'm scared. So am I. After watching that video, I got all paranoid. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll every few minutes, like, just rotate the top of the headphones so they never sit in one place for too long. Good one. Good tip. I don't know if it works. It's just my idea. Most of my ideas are bad. Listen, well, we just talked about it, so why don't we listen to it? Let's listen to the Commando Ninja song, which is the theme for the movie Commando Ninja. Hell yes. And it's good, and it's featuring, how do you say her name? Maram, like that? Maram Dsoki. She's called, yeah. Okay, well, we're going to listen to this right now because it's good stuff. And then we'll keep chatting. So this is the Commando Ninja theme. Or is it actually called Commando Ninja theme or just Commando Ninja is the name of the song? I think it's Commando Ninja, yeah. Well, then. That's the name. All right. Anyway, here it is.
He's been through hell, he fought to beat 'em all.
Alright, and that was Commando Ninja by Volt Age featuring Maram. Please say her last name again.
Dsoki.
Dsoki.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's it.
Okay. It's tricky when there's these names where there's like a D and then an S.
Yeah. I feel you.
I'm trying to start a new era in the show where I stop being confused by the pronunciation of people's names.
A whole new thing. Like no more badly pronounced names.
Yeah.
Insane.
Which is going to cut like half an hour out of each show.
That's like, yeah, it's a good concept.
Do you enjoy producing stoner rock for people?
That was like a great experience actually, because I have like this big old recording desk and a couple of microphones and everything. We drove it to a hut in the woods and stayed there for 2 weeks, and we recorded every day, and we basically built like a small studio inside this wooden hut, and we went bow shooting and music recording and barbecuing, which was a great combination. And yeah, this for 2 weeks, and then it came out great. It's also a great band, so it was great hanging out with the guys, and lots of fun.
Whose bow was it?
Actually, like I have 2 bows, and like one of the guys also had a bow, and yeah, I got into bow shooting during COVID times. It's my COVID hobby.
Okay. I tried to combine all the hobbies into one. So mine was shooting a bow at loaves of bread I just learned to cook. It was like, oh, I can learn to make yeast bread and all this stuff and like this dough, and then I would fucking set up the loaf, get out my bow,
and do the Wilhelm Tell.
Yeah.
Kids, hold that up.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very fun for my kids to...
Yeah, I guess so. Sounds great.
So then what'd you do then? Like, was this still when you were living in a smaller place? Like, where do you go and shoot bows in Germany? Like, were you just indoors doing targets, or did you go to the woods?
No, I was like, the place I stayed in or lived in wasn't that big, but when they closed everything down, I went to like my parents' place, and they have like a garage, and we put up, my brother and I would put up an arrow target in the garage, so we didn't like shoot towards the neighbors, and yeah, it worked out after a couple of attempts.
What inspired bow shooting?
I think my brother just like, he had a birthday and he got a bow from a friend of his, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And like we carved bows when we were little, and like I always had fun doing it, but this was like the first time shooting like a bow that was like properly made and that lasted longer than 2 weeks, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like fascinated by it. It was like this amazing thing. Yeah, then shortly after I had to get myself one, and then we basically spent a lot of time in front of the practice targets, and they're like small like areas where you can drive to in the woods, where you have like these parkours where you can go like, I don't know, 30 stations, and they hide like little targets in the wood, like little rubber wolves or little rubber dinosaurs or whatever, just like in the Commando Ninja. And then you would try to hit that target with the bow, and it's really lots of fun. And also because I shared it with my brother, it was even more fun. Yeah. I
don't think I've ever really like used a real bow, but like, do the arrows get like dull? Like, is there like arrow maintenance you have to do? Like, how does that work?
The most important thing is you have to buy like the tips for it, which are the explosive ones of Rambo, obviously. And then you don't have to take care of anything, because it just dissolves itself, the problems, you know?
Yeah.
No, it's really straightforward. You can buy the arrows and have like different types of weights and tips, and then also the draw weights of the different bows are depending on how much you can pull. And obviously you start really easy because it's hard on the fingers, and if you release the string like 1,000 times, it really rubs on the fingers. So you have to like work your way up the weight, and then it's really insane how easy it is. I mean, it's really like throwing. I think it's one of the most intuitive things I ever tried, like easiest to learn things, I guess. It seems to be really something that humans did for a long time
Do you have like special gloves?
No, I don't have gloves, but you can buy like shit ton of different kind of cool medieval looking things. But I still have to make my bow like chrome and arrows, like neon lighting and stuff like that, to make the first synthwave bow ever, you know?
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. Because I don't do any of that stuff. It's funny. It's like I play so many, video games with, guns and bows and these sorts of things, but then in real life, I've never really pursued it.
I mean, you live in a small town. You got maybe, I don't know, you got some space out there. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, like I could. I mean, like I do live in an area where I'm sure there's lots of, I do know there's lots of people here who like hunt and have guns and stuff like that. And I'm sure like they'd be happy to, I've got some friends who could take me, but like it's weird. Yeah. I have a weird aversion to those things. Like when things are dangerous, like it's fun for me when they're toys, and then when it's real, it sort of just changes the vibe. It's why I didn't learn to drive for such a long time, because I just think about hitting people with the car.
Very intense.
It's this whole pressure, to be like, oh, you got to be really safe. You got to fucking make sure. So I drive very slowly like an old lady. So like,
I still haven't got a license, so I never decided to have one. Always going with a bike and always complaining about the car drivers. But it's easy in Germany,
Yeah.
Distances are a lot shorter and there's like a lot of trains going around everywhere, so it's a lot easier to do here than in Toronto or Toronto area.
Yes, definitely. Like Europe, just the transit system over there is just a lot more robust. I mean, like if you're in Toronto itself, yes, there's buses and there's subways and stuff like that. But where I live, you have to drive. Yeah. There is no bus. Like we're just a small town. It's a bunch of small towns interconnected. There used to be a bus, like maybe like 20 years ago, and then with COVID, a lot of buses like shut down. So there's
really? Damn.
So there is a whole bunch of things now that like I'm so out of touch where I go, I hope to go back to the city sometime, and then I go on the internet and there's like not a bus anymore that goes there. And I'm like, what? Like where's the fucking bus? Like this is crazy. So I had to learn to drive, but I just did it now. So I'm 41. I just got my license in
Congrats.
October. You know what I mean? It's really weird to learn to drive when you're 40.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially like in a smaller town, like everybody's driving when they're like 12 or something.
Yes. I mean, it's nice because I can practice. So that's the nice part about being in a small town, is because I can drive my kids to school and like it gives me practice because we're not in the city and it's not super crazy. Although I did piss off some lady the other day, and I was being so fucking careful too, and it always weirds me out if I did something wrong. And I pulled out into this road, and then all of a sudden this lady showed up out of nowhere right behind me.
Damn.
And I swear I was fucking looked and I didn't see anybody. And then she's fucking honking her horn because I cut her off, but like I literally didn't see her. Yeah. But also too, she was slightly to blame because we were in front of the school, so she shouldn't have been driving so fast that she had to like pump her brakes.
That's it.
Because I'm like, hey, hold on, like we're in a school here, like we're driving slow.
Whoa.
And so anyway, so she chased me.
What?
She chased me a few blocks and like was like yelling, and then tried to drive up beside me to yell at me.
What?
And then like, and I'm pulling off to the side of the road because there's this old lady like who's walking, so I'm moving the car to give her space, and then this lady's trying to move to the other side of me to yell at me while she's like chasing me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I go back to the school afterwards and I'm like talking to the crossing guard. I'm just like, okay, did you see what happened this morning? Like, what was that? Like, where did that lady come from? Like, I didn't see her. And crossing guard was like, I actually didn't see her either. She just sort of came out of nowhere. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like a ghost car.
Yeah, I think you should get into explosive tips.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn. That sounds intense.
It's fucking really shitty way to start your morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because in the morning I'm tired. I gotta, like, my kids, I gotta tell them to do everything. Like, they just won't do anything. Like, it's just like, oh, brush your teeth, get up, eat your breakfast, do all this.
Yeah.
And then, then to just be like chased by some angry lady, it was just like, it changed the vibe of my day.
Yeah, I can imagine. Sounds very intense.
Well, listen, I tell you what though, what calms me down is listening to great music.
That's good.
And I want to listen to this track from Volt Age. It's called Dawn Hunter.
Ooh.
This is a good one, featuring some guy called Jakob.
Yes.
How do you say his last name?
He's called Jakob Betke. He's a very good friend of mine, a great guitarist, and yeah, we love making music together. And yeah, it's a really fun track. We came up with in the last 10 minutes of like a weekend of making music, and nothing else came out of the weekend except for this track, which we started like in the last 10 minutes. So I'm really, really proud of that one. And yeah, enjoy.
All right, and that was Dawn Hunter by Voltage featuring Jakob. I'm going to say this correctly. What, Betke? Betke, like that?
Yes.
So that's fun. So he's one of your musical buddies?
Yeah, he is. He also is living now in the same city as I am, which is great because we can hang out and make music together really easily, and we can hang out in each other's studios. He also has a place here, and he can play the guitar in amazing ways, and I'm really lucky to have him join me on a couple of my productions.
I miss that about being in the city, but I wish, because I always liked the idea of some sort of artist co-op.
Yeah.
Because there was times where I found it very difficult to work from home, and I was always like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we all had like a space, but like of similar-minded people, where it's like, oh, if I was doing video editing, you know, there's like a space with a bunch of computers and I can hang out with other video editors, and, you know, you can work and share tips and stuff while you're doing things. And I like the idea of having like, you know, your musical buddies within range that you can, you know, just jam with. And
it's such a pleasure. It's also like obviously when I was younger it was easier when like neighbors basically came over to hang out, but now after like this break of like working and everything, it wasn't that easy. Now it's again becoming very easy to just invite people and work together with them. It's just great because we built this space exactly for the purpose that people are like keen on coming and are excited and happy to be there. And then also the music that comes out of a place like this is often really nice and like in a way like resembles the vibes, and that's really important for me, and I just enjoy. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's great, especially with Jakob. It's amazing because we are friends for like 15 years or something. So we really help each other a lot with the music.
Oh shit, I called him Jakob.
Yeah.
But you pronounced it Jakob.
In German, you would say Jakob, but I think he would appreciate being called Jakob Betke.
Yeah.
So it sounds really cool if you say it like in this American Canadian accent, you know?
So what are you doing when you're not making music then? It sounds like you have a pretty intense sort of like music life. So what do you do when you're not doing that stuff?
I'm really traveling around a little bit and shooting bows, and I'm recently started learning a new martial art, which is called Nogi Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is a very complicated name. I don't know if you know it. It's like grappling or wrestling without like this Japanese suit. Just like basically trying to strangle the other guy or gal, depending on whichever is in front of you, and you learn different techniques, and it's a lot of fun. It's very exhausting. It's a great workout, and I found a really nice group here where I live, and yeah, I'm enjoying it, and it's really fun to learn all those different concepts and ideas.
Do they do co-ed Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with men and women in the same class?
Yeah, it's just like everybody can join. It's also not weird or something. It's very good and comfortable atmosphere, and obviously people are not there to like kill each other, or to help each other, or like develop the skills together and show each other the skills, and then you can go hard if you want to, and you have to just communicate with the other person you're rolling with what's the level of intensity you and I want to go, and then you just basically do some, how do you say, rough play. Yeah, like kids fighting basically, but a little bit more sophisticated, I hope, at least. Yeah.
Well, that's good. You sound like a pretty physical guy then, man. You're jiu-jitsuing and shooting bows. Look at that. You're like
I just enjoy it. It's just amazing, like the sensations and the like to be able to move the body in certain ways or control it in certain ways. If you have to like hold the bow or move in a certain way, it's just very like some things are just very complicated, and it's amazing to me if somebody has the skill. So I'm trying to like spend the time and learn as many skills as possible. Yeah, it's precious.
Yeah, it's a good thing to do, man, because I don't do anything, so like my body's fucked. Like it's just all I do, I just wake up in the morning and I just crack all over the place. Just like fucking, and like I turn my head the wrong way and then my neck's fucked for like 2 weeks. Like that's the life I'm living.
Damn. Yeah, maybe you should like maybe you should do something about it. I don't know. It's I can really recommend. That's all I can say. I mean, I'm cracking too, and I'm just like 32 now, but I get the cracks but I'm just like, everybody tells you, you just gotta do something, you know? I'm just trying to enjoy it and hoping that in the meantime, I stay kind of fit.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing to do because I got 10 years on you, you know. So if I had, done what you were doing when I was your age, a young whippersnapper, as we call them.
Whippersnapper, I like that.
Yeah, that's that's technically a phrase that's reserved for like ancient people, but whatever, it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, I can recommend listening to Voltage while doing fun stuff and working out. This is like the main purpose of my music, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like I ride my bike, obviously, because I can't drive the cars. I am not allowed to drive the cars. And if I listen to the music, I'm thinking about riding my bike very often. It's kind of a cool thing to imagine people being like excited by the music and working out and moving and everything. So
shooting bows.
Shooting bows.
Yeah.
Shooting bows. It reminds me of this. I lived in Toronto for 3.5 months.
Oh, when was that?
In 2012. And I was there with a friend of mine. He visited me like in the middle of the trip there, and we were like hanging on the couch, and there was this show on, I'm not sure, something about duck hunting, and like these southern states guys. And the thing you just said about bow hunting, it sounded like this one guy from the show. He said, "Yeah, we're just blowing up some beaver dams."
Oh, were you watching? Oh, what the fuck was it? Like they had like long hair and long beards.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Oh, fuck! What was that show called?
Yeah,
like something
duck hunting and blowing up some beaver dams.
God damn it!
I don't know.
The
hilarious.
Hold on, let's see if ChatGPT knows.
Yeah, let's
go. Okay. What was the reality show with old guys with long beards in the South?
Yeah.
That's a pretty vague question. Duck Dynasty?
Yes! That's it! That's fucking amazing. That's a really good memory of this time. We really laughed hard at that show.
I love the idea that that's your Toronto memory.
No, it's not my Toronto memory at all. It's just like one thing that came to mind when you said like, bow shooting. Yeah, that would be something they would do.
Yeah. Well, look, man. Listen, we can probably wind down, but I want to listen to another song.
Let's do it.
So let's listen to Pleasure Operator, because this is an awesome song.
Yeah.
Even though this is, I guess, really not a theme for anything, it certainly sounds like something. Yeah. Like when I was listening to it, I'm like, this sounds like a theme song for something.
Yeah.
And it's great. You really nailed that sound. So, and it's another one featuring Maram singing.
Yes.
And it's a good time. So this is Pleasure Operator.
Yeah, enjoy.
He's the man you wanna be, always in search for new
And that was Pleasure Operator by Voltage featuring Maram, Dsoki.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying, man.
So good.
Well, it's good stuff. You make cool tunes.
Thanks a lot.
You've been around for a while making those tunes. So.
Indeed.
Which means you were a young guy. If you're only fucking in the 30s now, so like when you started Voltage, what were you like 23? What?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I was like fooling around, and then it seemed to be that I was like one of the younger guys. But as it was only like avatars and Facebook group, so I didn't like feeling for me like that. I was like a young guy.
Yeah. What were you doing in Toronto?
I was staying there because I was studying Russian martial art, which was it's called Sistema. And there's like this one school in Toronto, which is like a headquarters outside of Russia. And as I don't speak Russian, I earned some money with like a job after school. And originally I wanted to go visit Japan and see Japan, but then Fukushima was there and I got my money not spent and had to back out of that plan. And then I was like, what else to do? And then I randomly stumbled upon this guy and was like curious, and I was like, yeah, I got some money, let's do this. And before I start university, and then I went and I just basically trained there, and then in the middle I did this little trip with my friend where we watched Duck Dynasty and we saw a little bit of the Ontario countryside, and it was really nice. Great experience. And I loved Toronto. I stayed in Little Italy. I was like a housekeeper for basically a church. I exchanged like light bulbs and help with stuff that was going on in the house.
Yeah.
And for that, I could sleep like in the library. They put up a bed there, and so it was really nice.
Well, that's cool, man. It sounds like you've done lots of interesting things.
Yeah, had a lot of random things maybe also.
Yeah.
It's lots of fun also all the time, and it basically brought me here, still making Voltage music, which is good. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Wait, so were you living in the priory of a church, like the house that's next to the church, or in an actual...
that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they had like a small room where they had like all their books and a computer, which they never used. And like two old priests, very nice guys, and they were not like that fit anymore, so they had someone help them, and I was like doing all the stuff where you needed to lift and carry stuff around.
How do you find out about that as an option?
Through my dad. He used to be a monk before he married my mother, and actually a priest, and he still has friends also in the States. And he was just asking a friend of him if he knows somebody in Toronto, and then somebody came back with, hey, we need someone, and this is how I ended up there. Was really like just by chance.
You know, whenever I hear about people being monks, it's really hard not to picture like the haircut from like like and I always, it's like, but modern monks don't have to have that bowl cut.
Yeah, I don't even know what does it mean. I mean, it seemed to be a thing. Maybe it can come back now. Like it's super. Maybe this will be the ultimate hipster move.
Oh yeah.
Dress like
old monk.
Yeah. Yeah, not like dressing it, but just the haircut. Imagine like people making like the bald head, but like with the hair going around. That would be pretty edgy, I think.
Well, we can start that trend. That'll be the next fucking...
I'm not sure I want to do that. I'm glad I don't have to do that, actually.
Yeah. Well, look, man. Listen, the bottom line is this. I hope you have a... Oh, what's going on? Is there sirens?
Oh, no, there's like a big... I don't know... what is it? Not a truck. It's more like this... English vocabulary. I don't know, big machine driving by my window.
Yeah. It was a transformer.
Yeah.
Stop
this now.
Well, look, you have a lovely German day.
Thanks so much.
And keep on making cool tunes. And I'm glad you're able to do it full-time now with your friends, and you got a studio. That's exciting.
Totally. Yeah, feel free to check it out on my Instagram or something. Yeah, and if you like the music, there will be like the next tune will be coming out next Friday, so June 30th, and then every month I will have like a new tune until almost the end of the year, and then all the tracks together will make like my first actual album. So I'm pretty excited for everyone to finally hear it. Finally, I got over myself, and I'm sharing the music with the world. So thanks everyone for listening.
Yeah, man. And where can people go? What are the social medias?
Yeah, the social medias is the Instagrams, of course, which is I am Voltage, and from there you can like obviously Bandcamp. I'm just producing a first run of t-shirts there. You can pre-order them. I still have some vinyls of my other tracks you just heard, like Pleasure Operator, Dawn Hunter. They are up on Bandcamp, and then like still have Facebook, but I rarely use it actually. It's just too many platforms to please, which sucks.
Yeah.
And so I think Instagram is for the Instagram and Bandcamp are the main platforms. And of course SoundCloud if you still are on there and enjoy listening to music on there.
Cool, man.
Thanks so much.
Well, listen. Have a great day and be cool, and we will continue to play the music of Voltage.
Yes, the Pleasure Operator looks forward to operating more pleasure in the different years, and enjoy. And thanks so much.
All right, cheers, dude.
Yeah, bye.
All right, and that was my chat with Voltage. I hope you enjoyed that. I had fun talking to him. It's really cool when there's people who have been in the scene for like such a long time to like finally get to know them, because I don't even know where I'm going to go in this sentence. It's just nice to get to know people, okay? That's the bottom line. So thanks for listening to the show. Tune in next time to Beyond Synth, the best synthwave chat show there is. For those of you who don't follow me on Instagram, I did a live chat the other day. So just to let you all know, I know that this season we've been trying to do more sort of experimental and silly things, and it's been a little light on classic style Beyond Synth interviews. So I have scheduled a bunch of interviews with guests who I haven't had on the show before, just because I wanted to make sure we still had plenty of new artists coming on the show and having fun chats with new people and stuff like this. But there will still be a lot of silliness. There's one episode while the internet was down that I recorded that is so stupid, but then the internet came back on, and so I didn't know what to do with it. So it's coming at some point. It's very dumb. I feel like people are just going to be annoyed by how stupid it is. But look, the bottom line is this. Have a lovely day, have a lovely week, have a lovely weekend. Thanks for listening to the show. Tune in next time and keep being cool. All right, so I'm Andy, and this has been the best synthwave chat show there is.
Beyond Synth Radio is produced by Andy Last. Check the show notes for more information on the musicians featured on the show. Beyond Synth is made possible by listeners like you. Consider supporting Beyond Synth at patreon.com/BeyondSynth. Thanks for listening.